You know that feeling, that itch for something to shift? Maybe it's a career rut, a relationship dynamic, or just a general sense of wanting things to be
Yeah.
so different.
hmm
We all have those moments where we wish we could just nudge reality in a new direction. So what if there was a surprisingly simple technique involving nothing more than two cups that some believe can act as that very nudge?
That's precisely what we're diving into today. We're going to explore the two-cup method, a fascinating approach to manifesting your desires that combines the power of intention, a focused mental image, and crucially, a physical action.
Oh,
It's a method that suggests you can actively participate in moving from your current situation to one you truly desire.
it sounds almost like a recipe for change, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not just sort of passively hoping things get better, but actually engaging with the idea that you can align your inner intentions with the world around you to bring about real transformation.
And that's the core of what we want to unpack for you in this deep dive. We're going to look at the thinking behind this two-cup method, guide you step by step through how it's done, share an example of how it, might play out,
Hmm.
and give you some practical food for thought if you decide to explore it yourself. Our aim is really for you to leave this conversation with a clear understanding of what it is and, well, whether it resonates with you as a potential tool for personal growth.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics of this. The two-cup method. It's not just some like whimsical idea, is it?
Yeah.
There's a concept that often gets linked to it, this idea of quantum jumping. What's the connection there?
Right. The two-cup method often uses the analogy of quantum jumping to describe its potential. Now, it's important to understand that this isn't meant to be a literal interpretation of quantum physics. Not really.
Okay.
Instead, it borrows the idea from quantum physics that multiple possibilities or realities might exist simultaneously. The thinking is that by focusing your intention and energy in a very specific way, you can metaphorically jump. Yes, metaphorically jump from your current experience to one that aligns more with your desired outcome.
So it's less about physically leaping between universes
Definitely not that.
and more about shifting your focus and your internal state
Mhm.
so that you become attuned to a different possibility that maybe already exists. Kind of like tuning a radio dial until you
Yeah.
find the signal you want.
That's a really insightful way to put it, yeah. The two-cup method provides a structured way to try and fine-tune that internal dial, to direct your attention and belief towards the reality you wish to experience. The power here likely lies in the psychological and behavioral shifts that happen when you clearly define your intention and actively visualize its fulfillment.
Right. Okay. So if you want to give this a try, what are the actual ingredients? What do you need to have on hand? It sounds simple.
It really is. The
Yeah.
beauty of this method is its simplicity. You'll need two cups or glasses. The material doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're really just there to serve as physical symbols, representations of your current and desired situations. You'll also need a jug of water, which acts as the medium for that symbolic transfer. And finally, grab two sticky notes or small pieces of paper and a pen. That's it.
Simple enough. Now let's walk through the process step by step so you can really picture how this works. What's the very first thing you do?
Okay, the initial and absolutely crucial step is to get crystal clear on your current situation. Take one of your sticky notes and write down a brief, honest description of the reality you wish to change. For example, you might write, feeling stuck and uninspired in my current job.
Right.
The key here is to be concise and to capture the core feeling or circumstance you want to shift. No need for a novel.
Okay, you got that description down on paper. What do you do with it next?
Simply attach that first sticky note, the one describing your present reality, to one of the cups. This cup now becomes a visual anchor for where you are right now.
Got it. So the second cup is going to represent where you want to be, the goal.
Exactly. On the second sticky note, you'll write down your desired outcome. Sticking with our career example, this might be something like excited and thriving in a fulfilling new career. Try to be as specific and positive as possible about the change you want to see. Then you attach the second note to the other glass.
So now you have two labeled cups, one for the before and one for the after. What's the next move?
Now you take the cup that's labeled with your current reality, the one describing what you want to move away from, and you fill it with water. As you're pouring, take a conscious moment to acknowledge your present circumstances. Observe them, without any judgment, simply recognizing them as your starting point.
So it's about acknowledging where you are without getting bogged down in negativity about it.
Precisely.
Then comes the symbolic action of the transfer.
Exactly. Slowly and deliberately pour the water from the first cup, the one representing your current situation, into the second cup, the one labeled with your desired outcome. This act of pouring is the central symbolic gesture of the method. It represents the transition, the shift from one state to another.
And as you're pouring, it's not just about the physical act, is it? There's a mental component as well, you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crucial. During this transfer, the emphasis is on vivid visualization. You really want to engage your imagination and picture yourself already living in that desired reality.
Okay.
What does it feel like to be in that new situation? What do you see around you? What are the sounds? What emotions are you experiencing as if you've already achieved your goal? Engaging all your senses in this visualization can be incredibly powerful.
That sounds like it really helps to solidify the intention, make it feel real. So the water is now in the dream cup. What's the next step?
Now, you take the second glass, the one now containing the water and labeled with your desired reality, and you drink the water. As you drink, the idea is to internalize the feeling and the belief that you are now embodying that desired reality. Try to really connect with the emotions of success, fulfillment, whatever it is, as if they are already a part of your lived experience.
So it's a physical act of taking in that symbolic representation of your desired future. What happens after you finish the water? Is that it?
There's one final but very significant step. You need to express gratitude for the shift, even if you don't see immediate, tangible results. Acknowledge the possibility that things are already moving in the direction of your intention and trust in the process. And, equally important, is to release any strong attachment to the specific outcome or the exact timeline.
Release attachment. That's an interesting idea. Why is that so important? I mean, if you really want something, shouldn't you hold on to that desire tightly?
Well, there's a subtle but important distinction between having a clear intention and being rigidly attached to a specific outcome or timeline. When you release attachment, you're essentially saying, okay, I've set my intention and I trust that things will unfold in the best way possible, even if it's not exactly how or when I expect.
Oh, wow.
Over-attachment can actually create resistance. It can lead to anxiety, doubt, and potentially hindering the very outcome you desire. Think of it like planting a seed. You care for it, you water it, but you don't keep digging it up every hour to check if it's growing, right?
Yeah.
You trust the natural process of growth.
That makes a lot of sense. So you set the intention, you do the symbolic action, feel it, and then you sort of let go of the need to control every little detail. Now, you mentioned earlier that there might be some examples of how this has worked for people in the source material.
Yes, the source material shares a story that I think illustrates the process quite well. It's about someone named Alex who was feeling really stuck and unfulfilled in their job. You know, the kind of situation where they felt like they were just going through the motions every day.
Yeah, that's a feeling a lot of us can probably relate to, unfortunately. So what did Alex do?
Alex decided to try the two-cup method with a clear intention of finding a career that genuinely resonated with their passions and skills. They went through all the steps we just outlined, focusing particularly on the feeling of excitement and fulfillment in their visualization.
Okay. And what was the outcome? Did they suddenly land their dream job overnight? That seems unlikely.
Well, the story reports that within about a month, Alex received an unexpected job offer. And it was in a field that they had always been interested in but hadn't actively pursued before. It was described as a significant and positive transformation from their previous situation.
Wow, that's a pretty compelling story. Of course, it's always difficult to say definitively that it was solely the two-cup method that led to that job offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it certainly raises some interesting questions about the power of intention and mindset. It could be that by focusing so clearly on what they wanted, Alex became more open to opportunities they might have otherwise missed. Or perhaps they started acting in ways, even subconsciously, that aligned with their goal.
Exactly. That's a great point. Even if the two-cup method doesn't, magically conjure a job offer out of thin air, the process itself, clearly defining a goal, visualizing it, taking that symbolic action, can create a significant shift in your internal state, your mindset.
Yeah.
And this shift can influence your behavior, your interactions with others, and ultimately the opportunities you notice and attract.
So for you listening right now, if you're feeling that same kind of yearning for a change, what would you say? Is this something worth exploring?
I would definitely encourage you to approach it with an open mind and a genuine sense of intention. The process itself, as we said, is simple. It doesn't require any special skills or resources. The key is to really engage with the visualization aspect and to connect the symbolic action with a clear and positive desire for change. There's really no downside to trying it, and the potential for a shift, even just in your perspective, could be significant.
And if you do decide to try it, what should you be looking for? Should you expect a lightning bolt of change immediately? Probably not, right?
It's wise to manage your expectations. Yeah. While some people might experience noticeable shifts relatively quickly, like Alex apparently did, for others it might take more time, or the changes might manifest in much more subtle or unexpected ways. The invitation is really to just be present and observant. Notice any small shifts in your thoughts, your feelings, or maybe the opportunities that start to pop up. Sometimes the universe works in mysterious, roundabout ways.
And the source material actually encourages people listening to share their experiences, doesn't it? Whether they see big changes or subtle ones.
Yes, it does. Sharing your experiences, whether you perceive a direct link to the method or not, can be really valuable. It can offer encouragement and insights to others who are also exploring these ideas. It creates a sort of sense of shared exploration and learning.
So it's like a collective experiment in a way.
Yeah.
Interesting. And for those who find this idea intriguing and want to maybe delve deeper into similar concepts, what would be your suggestion?
Well, I would recommend continuing to explore different manifestation techniques and personal growth strategies. The two-cup method can be a wonderful starting point, perhaps a gentle introduction to the idea that your thoughts and intentions have power. There's a vast landscape of ideas and practices out there, visualization, affirmations, journaling, lots of things you might find resonate with you.
Ultimately, it seems to come back to the idea that we have more influence over our reality than we sometimes believe. Even a simple symbolic act like this can be a powerful way to focus our intention and signal maybe just to ourselves, maybe to the universe, what we truly desire.
Exactly. It's about consciously engaging with the power of your mind and your intentions and finding practical, even if symbolic, ways to direct that power towards creating the life you envision.
So for each of you listening who feels that pull for something different, maybe grab those two cups, get clear on what you want to shift, and try it out. It's a low-stakes way to explore the potential for meaningful change.
And as you consider this, maybe think about how consciously focusing your intention, even through a seemingly simple symbolic act like this, might subtly shift your perception, your openness to new possibilities in your daily life. It could extend far beyond the specific outcome you're focusing on with this technique. It's about the potential for a broader awakening, perhaps, to the power you hold within.
Until our next deep dive, stay positive and keep